Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today is Daniella D'Amore, and she's here to discuss the topic of the importance of meditation and its misconceptions. Welcome, Daniella.
Thank you, Megan.
Daniella, a lot of people have heard of meditation. Why is it positive for individuals to meditate?
Meditation's been around a long time, right? I know that there are a lot of people who think that meditation is some kind of trend, it's trendy, you know, everyone's doing meditation, so it's something we should get on board with or whatever. But, you know, it's a 5,000-year-old fad, let's say that. And every culture on the planet has a form of meditation. It's important, first of all, to find the right meditation that suits you. And there are many out there. And when you find what's right for you and you practice that, and it's a regular practice, then you will start to feel, see, sense so many benefits, not only in your physical body, but in your material life, I guess. You know, your environment, your relationships improve, your health improves, your creativity improves, so many things improve because what meditation helps us to do is to get into that space of calmness, basically. And that's what meditation helps us to do, become better at life. Because then we're not reacting to things, we're responding. Right? And when we come from a response, we're going to make much better decisions that will benefit us. So there'll be also less stress in our life. And as we know, stress causes a lot of, imbalance in our bodies and in our lives. So what I always like to point out is that it is a practice. It's not something you do for a weekend and that's it, I've meditated, I know how to do it, it's all good, I'm good. No, meditation is something that is important to incorporate into your, if not daily life, at least weekly life. So that over a period of time, it does become something that is very much a part of your routine, and consequently, as I said, over time, you will see the benefits of that. Not only see it, but reap the benefits of that, right? Because, you think about the cultures that meditate every day, for hours of a day. Well, they're doing that for a lifetime. You would think by now they'd be pretty good at it, but no, they keep doing it. And why is that? Why is it that they keep doing it? Because it's a practice. It's not a religion. It's not a philosophy. It's a practice. And the reason why we practice is because there's always somewhere deeper to go within ourselves. And the deeper we can go, the deeper we're going to learn about who we are, who we truly are, which means what are our core values? What are the things we like and dislike? How am I feeling in this moment? How am I responding in this moment? So that you can ask yourself all the right questions to then, as I said, make healthier choices.
Daniella, although a lot of people have heard of meditation, it appears that there's a few misunderstandings around it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions around meditation. And if you Google what is meditation, 1 million, 2 million sites will come up telling you what meditation is and what the benefits of meditation is, because there's many of them. They use meditation for a lot of health benefits, mental issues, just a healthier, balanced lifestyle. However, there are many people out there, they create these excuses because they believe they're not good at meditation, or meditation is a religious thing and I'm not religious. I don't want to do mantras. Well, you don't have to do mantras, I don't want to sit still for that long, or I can't sit still for that long. My head doesn't stay still. I can't sit and meditate because, I overthink. All the more reason to do it, right, first of all. And other people, well, I'm not well, or I don't have the time. Don't have the time is a big one. So if you can't find 15 minutes in a week to meditate, then you're not really taking care of yourself, right? So these misconceptions, because as you know, in life, we conceptualize everything in life, right? Everything we believe, our beliefs are based on concepts that we have believed. I mean, I recommend at least 15 minutes a day, which is what I try to do personally. And some days I'll do 15 minutes. Sometimes I do an hour. depending on what I have, and sometimes it's 5 minutes. And the other concept, the misconception about meditation is that you need to be sitting. No, people meditate when they're doing something they love. So a lot of times when people are gardening, for example, you know, whenever you're in the moment and you're really connected to what you're doing, like, you know, men who tinker away at cars and the hours go by, or it can be even while you're washing the dishes, you know, you're just washing dishes and there's nothing in your mind, you know, or you're just there with the dishes. That's meditating. That's mindful meditating. Because mindful meditating is you are absolutely aligned with the moment. And you are completely aware of what is happening in the moment. So you're aware of everything you're doing, but you're not connected or you're not attached to anything that's happening. The Dalai Lama says, if every 8-year-old on the planet started to learn meditation now and it became part of their life, we would have peace within a generation.
For our viewers at home, Daniella, what can they do straight away to start their meditation journey?
Well, right away, all they need to do is just sit, you know, find a quiet moment in the day, and all they need to do, and if they want to play music, that's fine too. You know how some people like to have some nice gentle music behind. But the main thing is, if you can sit even for 5 minutes, and all you need to do is just focus on your breath. That's all. Now, thoughts may come in. That's okay. They're supposed to be there. Our minds never stop. We're great thinkers. Sometimes those are good thoughts and sometimes they're not. But just focusing on your breath and just saying to yourself when a thought arises, that's okay. It's okay that you're there. But right now, I'm just focusing on my breath. So you're always bringing the focus and the attention back to your breath. And if you can just start doing that 5 minutes a day, or throughout the day when you're going for a walk, because there are walking meditations as well. And that's about being totally conscious of how your feet touch the earth or how you're walking, how your body is moving.
Daniella, that's such wonderful, fantastic information.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
If you'd like to know more about Daniella and the importance of meditation, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll have another interesting guest with another interesting topic. Stay tuned. After the break, psychic medium and author Anthony Kilner will be talking about how ghost investigations work. Welcome back. Our next guest, Anthony Kilner, is a psychic medium and author, and the topic we'll be discussing today is how do ghost investigations work? Welcome, Anthony.
Thanks, Megan. Lovely to be here again.
Thanks for coming. So, what is a ghost?
Right, so what is a ghost? Ghosts are really interesting things because we're talking about the spirit world. Now, there are a lot of people that say ghosts don't exist and that it's something else. However, as a medium, I'm going to believe that ghosts exist. And so we have different types of ghosts. So we have our ghost that's a typical ghost that's stuck somewhere, that haunts a house or a building, and they haven't moved on and they're just stuck there. And an etheric being, as I would refer to them as, is a being that when you talk to them, they will interact with you. Whereas as we move up the scale of ghostliness, you can connect telepathically with a spirit and talk to them that way. But most of our hauntings and most of the stuff really involves what we call etheric beings or beings that are just stuck here. Now, when we go up the levels, we meet other spirit beings, and you know, they're not necessarily what we call ghosts, because ghosts are all, you know, about haunting and, you know, causing trouble and moving things. But our spirit people can move things too. You know, if mum or dad or someone in the spirit world wants to move your keys or put a picture down at home, you know, they're not doing it out of nastiness, they're doing it out of a sense of fun. So there are good spirits and then there are some not so good spirits. The underlying thing about ghosts and ghost investigations and things like that we do is to try and work out, okay, what is the spirit in the space, right? What do we need to do to help them and how do we do that? And the main thing is 9 times out of 10, a spirit that's stuck here is a spirit that has a message that hasn't come through. And so our job as the medium is to help them. The main thing is we've got to give the ghost a choice. So we go in there, we connect up to what's in the space. Okay, yes, we've got, little Johnny is the spirit here, and so we help them get energy, and by getting energy it means talking and communicating with them, and then that helps them to then make a choice to move on for their best and highest good. And the thing I love about ghosts is they've got personalities. Now they might be angry and they might be doing stuff that's not nice, however, they've got a personality, they can react to you. The other thing is understanding that people quite often say they've got a ghost and it's haunting them or it's scaring them. The difference between how it feels, does it scare you or does it make you, okay, yeah, I know who it is and I know what they're doing. If that's the case, you don't need to do anything. It's when things start to get a bit nastier than that you've got to maybe get somebody in to help you to understand what's going on in that space.
So that sort of leads us into the next question. What is a ghost investigation?
The objective of any investigation is to let's be skeptical and say, if there's a ghost here, what is it? And then disprove everything else around it. So if you're hearing a door knocking or something like that, go around, see if there's an open window, see if there's wind coming in that's going to make that door rattle. All right, so you disprove everything else around, and a good investigation team is going to come in and they're going to do that. They're going to look at everything, they're not going to jump at shadows, they're going to use meters, they're going to use whatever they've got to work out what is in the space. What I find really interesting is when you disprove everything, then you can only be left with, it's come from a ghost. So in my world, an investigation is you go in, be open to what you receive, test out the theory, look at what's happening, and then when all their boxes are ticked, you can say, right, well, this is the spirit I've got, this is what they look like, this is what they're telling me. You connect up and you talk to them, just like you would any other spirit. And from that information, then you go away and check that it's accurate.
Anthony, do you have a good story to share?
I do. I have a lot of stories because I've been doing it for quite a while. However, probably the best story is one where I met a spirit called Marianne. Now, she was what we call a corporal being, in that she could come and go at will. She wasn't stuck anywhere. And I met her at a mansion and one night, and I got a sense of her being there. She was about 13 years old. She had polio. She was alive here in Victoria in the sort of early 1800s. And she just had this really lovely presence about her. However, she was really quite scared of some of the other people on our team. And I went into the room that she stayed in. She told me about staying there. And on the bed, which was sitting there, I started playing my Native American flute. And I played that, and I just got a sense of her getting up, and she got up on the bed. And then she started dancing on the bed. And everybody in our team, including the cameraman, was able to film the hand and the footprints as she moved around on the bed. Now that was pretty beautiful, and I thought maybe a big once off. However, when we went back to start doing tours at this place, I would make the bed in front of them, pull it all tight, all the rest of it. I'd talk to Marianne, explain the story, then I'd play the flute again, and they would see, not every time, but just about every time we did an investigation, one of the groups would see it, and she would get up and she would dance on the bed. Now, the really beautiful thing about that was when we were communicating, she said, I don't really like the music you're playing. And I said to her, well, you tell me what you would like to play, like me to play. And so she put the sound in my head and I started playing it. And when I got it right, and I started calling it Marianne's Waltz, and that's what it was. It was a waltz done on the flute. And so I can go and play that anywhere, and quite often people, without telling them the story, will go, I saw this young girl dancing around you. How amazing. And that's who it was. So that's just one of the more beautiful stories. And even to this day, Marianne comes around when I play the flute.
Wow, that's a really gorgeous story. Thanks, Anthony. What would you recommend our audience do if they have a feeling that something's not quite right in their house?
If it is a ghost, then you'd get a medium in or someone in to be able to sit down and try and connect with that spirit. And again, the objective is to help them to move on. The main thing really that I say to people is keep a diary, a record of the occurrences. And that's really important for a whole lot of reasons. So if I go into a place and they can say to me, look, every Saturday night at 12:45, this door bangs, this light goes on, that happens, then I know I've got to be there at that time of night to make it happen. So the more we know and the timing and what's going on, the more we can then target, okay, we need to be here. And sometimes if there's a lot of energy in a house, especially with kids, it might not even be a ghost. It might be an elemental being that's coming through. So good research on the people you want to bring into your home to help you to clear it and understand what's going on is essential to a good result.
Thanks for such rich information, Anthony. If you'd like to know more about Anthony Kilner and how ghost investigations work, please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we have another interesting guest with another interesting topic. Stay tuned. After the break, Naturopath lecturer and author Michèle Wolff will be talking about the importance of the nervous system to the digestive system's health. Welcome back. Our next guest is Michèle Wolff, and she's a naturopath, author and lecturer. And the topic we'll be discussing today is the importance of the nervous system and the digestive system's health. Welcome, Michèle.
Thank you, Megan.
Michèle, what's the difference between the two?
Well, the mind and the nervous system have a big connection. So I'm sure you've experienced the feeling of butterflies when you've been frightened about something. But scientifically, they've now found that not only do we have a brain-gut connection, but also that the gut has its own brain or own nervous system, so to speak. So for an example, it produces serotonin, which is a chemical produced in the brain that helps the nervous system and helps calm the brain. So our lifestyles can have a profound effect on the nervous system, and that has an interaction with the gut. Emotions, they can actually affect the microbiome. So in microbiome tests, which are stool tests, they test over 700 different species now, and there can be an impact on that microbiome through your diet, but there can also be an impact on how you think. So if you're stressed or have an overburden of more negative thoughts, that has an impact on the negative aspects of the microbiome. And also that kind of stress has an impact on your upper digestion, so you won't produce as much pancreatic enzymes from your pancreas or as much hydrochloric acid from your stomach, and the liver's implicated in that as well. So if you're frightened or holding on, it can kind of shrink those digestive chemicals, and it can also have an effect on constipation if you're holding on. Whereas completely different to that, you can have diarrhea if you're very anxious about something, and that can follow the butterfly feeling in the gut. And in your diet, a lot of people have coffee, but if you have a delicate nervous system, when you have a coffee, it will likely make you more anxious, and it will either give you diarrhea or pain in the guts or inflame the gut. The other thing that coffee does is it's a diuretic, which means it makes you pee more, and then that has an effect at moving out magnesium, potassium and calcium, and those are major minerals for your nervous system. So you'll likely become more anxious or more stressed from those coming out. There are also lots of other foods that have an effect on the nervous system and then on the digestion. So any kind of junk food or sugar will make the body more anxious and more depleted, and then have an effect on wiping out your good flora and fauna in the gut, and having a negative effect on that. But if you have whole food, so for example whole grains, legumes, good proteins, lots and lots of plant foods, then you'll get the nutrients for your nervous system. So the main ones being the magnesium, the calcium, the potassium. B vitamins are very important as well. And then the gut will have less effect. Also, if you have long-term worry or you have a very responsible position and you've got things going over and over in your mind a lot, you can develop inflammatory bowel disease. You can also develop inflammatory bowel disease from the wrong food.
Oh, fantastic. Is there any special foods or herbs that can assist with this?
Most people will have heard of chamomile. This is both a relaxant to the gut, and it also has a slight bitter taste, and that anything that's slightly bitter helps you produce more good digestive enzymes and good digestive juices, and it helps you produce more bile, which is necessary for the digestion as well. So ginger's a really good digestive, cardamom, fennel and peppermint. Those are really excellent also for building up the strength of your digestion and to have after food to help you digest that food more easily. So they might stop bloating and wind and make the whole passage of digestion easier. And you can use these spices generally in your food as well. So the more you use digestive spices, cumin is another one, the stronger your digestion will become.
That's great. Do you have any extra tips for our viewers on how to improve their digestive health?
Yeah, sure. So firstly, sit down to eat. I think a lot of us eat on the run, eat in the car, eat standing up. So sit down, chew your food really well, and practice one meal a day where you're actually chewing until the food is a liquid in your mouth, because you've got a lot in your saliva in your mouth that starts the digestion of food. Make sure you're generally well hydrated. Make sure that you don't lie down after eating. This weakens the digestion. So you're best to go for a walk for at least 10 minutes after a meal. Avoid eating late at night. So your digestion is strongest when the sun's highest in the sky. So that's normally between 12 and 2. The other thing is to only eat when you're hungry. So if you're eating and you're not hungry, it means you're still digesting the meal from before. That could be the night before. At the same time, don't let yourself get starving. You know, that can be detrimental to the body as well. We need to be nourished as well as have times of fasting. Just a healthy general plate of food would be half a plate of plant food with lots of green leafy vegetables in there. They stimulate the liver to produce more bile and help digestion. A quarter of a plate of carbohydrates, so within that would be starchy vegetables like sweet potato and pumpkin, or whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat. And then about quarter of a plate of protein, whether that's animal protein, vegetarian protein or vegan protein. And within that about 20% of good healthy fats. They are very important for your nervous system. And fluid is best to have warm for your gut, so that absorbs more. And you need to have enough for your height and weight. So if you times your weight by 33, so say if you're 60 kilograms and you times that by 33, you'll get the amount of mils, so it might be 2,000 mils, which is 2 litres, that you should have a day. And it's important to drink systematically.
Thanks for such valuable information, Michèle. If you'd like to know more about the importance of the nervous system and the digestive system's health and Michèle Wolff, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. That's all for us from today. Bye-bye until next time.
If you'd like to know more about our show, please like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.